All right, so the Avalanche unveil a new 30th anniversary logo and bring Joel Kiviranta back. Brennan Vogt is going to join me for today's episode of Locked On Avalanche. Coming at you.
You're Locked On Avalanche, your daily podcast on the Colorado Avalanche. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Locked On Avalanche podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your host, Chris Maselli. Joining me today from Hockey Mountain High, Mr. Brennan Vogt, or not Hockey Mountain High anymore. You're all over the place. Who are you with these days right now? Because I can't keep track of you.
With Hockey Mountain High, we're an affiliate of Mile High Sports. So
right. And
then I drop in every once in a while, and I do stuff with Mile High Hockey.
Yes, of course. So you are a man of many talents. So
I guess.
And you were you were at practice the other day, or skate through, if you want to call it that, for Brent Burns. So we'll get to that in a second. But I want to remind everybody to join our subtext if you want to get in on the conversation with myself. You can join our subtext. Link is in the show notes below, and I share everybody's topics and conversations on this podcast. We will do that. Some people chimed in on this 30th anniversary logo, so I want to start with that. And this seems to be like the start of what could be announcements for. I think they said that in their announcement. Like over the coming weeks, you're going to get some announcements and maybe like special nights that they're going to have throughout the season, maybe the Nordiques third jersey. But the start of it was this logo. If you're watching on YouTube, I'll bring that up for you. There it is. Thoughts on this, sir? What do you think?
I like the little touch of the Stanley Cup years in the lower right-hand corners.
Nice.
They hid all the X's, which is kind of strange how they overlapped it.
Right.
But I know that it's a matter of space. But I'm no graphic expert.
Mm-hmm.
And then I like how they did the little swirl behind it, just like the Avalanche A.
Like this, yes, yeah. Like it's, I don't hate it. It's a logo. Like it's gonna be around for 1 year. The only thing that the first thing that I thought of was like they should have reversed the numbers. They should have went chronologically and had 96 firsts, 01 where it is, and then 22 third.
That does make more sense.
And that's a minor gripe. But yeah, like the X's, like they're kind of, you don't really know that the other two things are X's. They're just somebody in subtext. I want to give him credit for this. Who was it? I want to say it was I can't remember who it was, but they threw out there that, hey, like those last two supposed X's look like K's. And is that the Cronkies throwing their weight around saying like, oh, we're going to have to throw our name. I'm like, oh, that's a really good point. Maybe that's the Cronkies saying like, let's get our initial in there somehow, because it does look like two Ks at the end rather than X's.
It does. Yeah. That's a good point.
Good one. So I don't know. I don't hate it. I don't love it. I had, I think Vargar on subtext said it was mid.
So, sounds like Vargar. Yeah.
It does. That is Vargar. I don't know. Like compare it to the other one, like to the 25. I have a 25 on it.
I don't like the 25. I hate the 25.
That was bad. And I have the 20th here too. The 20 that one's okay. That's fine.
Yeah,
I don't mind that. Is it the best one out of the three? I don't know.
Well, I think the 10th was the best.
I don't remember the 10th one.
It was an X, and
oh yes, and it had the swirl around.
Yeah, it had the swirl around. So maybe this is kind of like an homage to the 10th. But that was the year that they hosted the Stanley Cup, the All-Star game, I believe.
The All-Star game, I think. Yeah, well, the All-Star game was in 01.
Maybe
if I'm not mistaken.
I remember it was an anniversary year or something.
Was it?
That.
Okay.
Gosh, it would have been 5 years then. But I like the 10th. The out of all of them, the most. It has to be the best.
Lisa over on Subtext said, I approve. Wasn't 100% sold on it, but then I noticed the cup years in the X's, and that's a very nice touch. I agree, but I just would have reversed them. Who's this here? This is Madam Battleaxe says, I'm somewhat torn. It seems a bit bland, but it's clean, and I like the concept of tying in the cups. It is a clean look to it. It's I don't hate it, but Daniel doesn't like it. He says lackluster, not great, not bad, average. Couldn't even stick cup logos in there. Just something marketing has to push out on a whim. I think we're spending too much time on this, honestly. It's a logo. It's going to be there for you. But I am interested to see what they do with the patches, because now jerseys are becoming, you're going to have what's the patch that they have?
IMG.
IMG. This is going to be somewhere. That's fine. But if you're Gabe Landeskog or Nathan McKinnon or Cale Makar and you have an A on top of that, you're just going to be loaded. You're going to look like a server at TGI Fridays with all these patches on your jersey.
Well, and so my guess is that what they're probably going to do is they're going to move the anniversary patch under the sponsorship in that case. That's just my guess.
Yeah.
Because like with the Stanley Cup, they put the two together.
Like right up on the collar,
so they put the Stanley Cup patch and the C right next to each other, and that was just so bad.
Yeah.
I saw that and I was
I don't like that look.
Yeah, It was not bad, not great for aesthetics.
All right. Well, it's here for a year, and
on mid.
What's that?
It's going to be on the middle of the ice.
It will be in center ice. Yeah. So it's here. Cool. I mean, it's I think you should put more emphasis on the fact that it's the 30th anniversary and not so much on a logo. It is what it is. It's there. Okay, we'll move on. Part of the 30, what I wanted to get from you, the part of the 30th anniversary is also be the first year for Brent Burns. And you have been at the ice watching him skate around. I know this is insanely early, but any takeaways that you've been seeing from him early on, and the enormity of the man?
Yeah, he's a very large human.
Yeah.
Compared to Samuel Girard, who he has been skating off and on with, who I think could be a good pairing, he just dwarfs Girard.
Yeah.
And Girard's 5'8", 5'10"-ish.
Mm-hmm.
I think they may be fidgeting when they say he's 5'10".
Okay.
But he's very large. He's got a great wrist shot, and I don't think he's even really trying very hard when he's going through the drills. His footwork is still outstanding. He's doing it just so. He reminds me a lot of Eric Johnson.
Really?
With his size and with how smooth he skates.
I think that's what very underrated for him is the size of him. You would think he's just out there to throw the weight around.
No.
Which doesn't really do a lot of, but he's, to be at his height and weight to just skate around seemingly effortlessly is pretty amazing. And throw in the fact you're always going to throw in the fact that he's 40 years old on top of it, that he's still skating like so. I think
he's my age.
He's younger than me, believe it or not. I could not skate the way that he does at my age right now. So it's impressive. And you mentioned Sammy G. Were they out there, do you think, because this is going to be the pairing, or this was just, hey, this was their time to skate and it just happened to both be out there?
Yeah, I think it was just their time to skate. Samuel Girard lives here, I believe, during the summer. So it's just, there's time to skate. Brock Nelson's been out there as well. I've seen him once, but he's got school-age kids, at least that I know of from reading prior. So the fact that school's starting and things like that, I'm not surprised that he's in town. He's just trying to get them going in school is probably my assumption. He was wearing a New Jersey. So
what do you mean by that?
So the practice sweaters have always been kind of I can pull it up, but it's been a particular blue, more towards the shade of the color of the pants.
Yes, I have one of the
more
I think
towards
it's upstairs.
more towards this.
Yep.
And then it was a lot lighter along with the socks. And what it reminded me of was the Nordiques jersey.
Which is the rumor.
Exactly.
Huh. But the logo on it was the Avalanche logo, or was it just?
Yeah. Okay. It was their traditional practice jersey with the circle on it and the Avs logo.
Okay.
And things like that. So I can pull it up and
But I have one of those practice jerseys, the first ones from Fanatics, and it's very deep blue. Yes.
Deep blue, yes.
So you're saying this was not that. This is a little bit lighter blue.
It is a little bit lighter, and it is definitely something that is really different. I can pull it up on my screen if you'd like to show you.
Because I want to see this. This is this from a picture that you took, or is
yes?
This, okay. All right. Okay. Here we go.
Is it showing?
It is. Remove it. Oh, hang on. I gotta get rid of that. There we go. It's not showing. There we go. You're right, man. That is a different blue.
Yeah, so it's a little bit lighter.
Yeah.
And so the jersey was typically a lot darker, more towards the pants. And now, of course, I had to adjust the lighting because in family sports, the lighting is really crummy. Yeah. So I had to adjust the picture a little bit to kind of bring out the color. But this reminded me of pre-move with the Quebec Nordiques jersey.
Okay.
So.
All right. Interesting. Something to keep an eye on.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not here to fuel rumors or anything, but
well, we will be talking about jerseys a little bit later. We got someone from Subtext throughout. They want to know like some obscure Avalanche history. So we'll get to that a little bit later. But let's get a break in, and then when we come back, somebody that you haven't seen skating yet, but might be very soon because they signed him right before the weekend. And that's Joel Kiviranta. So we'll talk about his 1-year deal, what we think of it. We'll do that coming up next. All right, let's hear from Indeed. And you just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. And how can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. You can just use Indeed. And when it comes to hiring, Indeed is all you need. So stop struggling to get your job post seen on other sites. Indeed sponsored jobs puts your post at the top of the page and helps you reach the right candidates faster. And now you can speed up your hiring process with a $75 sponsored job credit. Just go to Indeed.com/lockedon right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on Locked On Avalanche. Terms and conditions apply. So if you are hiring, Indeed is all you need. All right, sir. So, I think it was Friday, right before the weekend, the Avs announced they're bringing back Joel Kiviranta for another season. I believe this is his 3rd year with the team.
Yes.
1 year, $1.25 million. Personally, like, he went and did what you are given permission to do. He was a free agent. He wanted to go see what was out there. I always want to know, what else did you get? What were the other offers out there? Did you come back maybe at a little bit lower cost because you like the fit better? I always want to know that stuff, and that's stuff that we never get, which is fun. But he is back here, tested the waters, 1 year, $1.25 million. I think it's a fine signing. What do you think?
I like it. He earned his pay. Exactly what he wanted to do. Now, of course, like you said, do we know exactly what he got offered from who and how much. As Nazem Kadri said in his book, y'all shouldn't know. That's just to paraphrase it.
He's totally right too.
Yeah,
it
because
is totally self-serving on why I want to know that stuff, but I don't deserve to know.
Yeah, because I'm paraphrasing, of course, because he used bad language. But,
yeah, colorful language from that.
Yeah, very colorful language. Yeah. But now, of course, he had a career year for him. Numbers he hasn't seen since 21, 22, and 22, 23, I believe. So very well deserved. I've liked his style of play ever since he came to the Avalanche, and gosh, he's the one who knocked us out of the playoffs in the bubble. So keep him here.
Yeah, and I mean, you say numbers he hasn't seen since 2021. Like, it really is numbers he hasn't seen ever.
Yeah.
He 79 games played last year, 16 goals, which doubled his previous high. In 22-23, he had 8 and 7 assists. So 23 points. He's a plus 15, 12 and a half minutes a night. His shooting percentage was outrageous last year. Like 19% shooting percentage. Like that you don't expect. No. But hey, he had a career year and a contract year. And how many times do we hear that? How many times do we hear that? And guys get paid for it. And for some reason, Joel Kiviranta goes out and does it. And because he's a bottom 6 guy and not a top, 6 guy, and goes out and having a career year, for some reason, the Avs overpaid. I'm not falling into that trap of saying like, well, sure. What did he make? Like $850 last year, $875. Like, yeah, it was low.
It was less than $1 million.
And we're giving him 1.25 while the cap is going up. Are we really gonna get like in a bind over this for him? I have thoughts on it, but I want to hear yours.
I think he deserves the 1.25.
Yeah.
And like you said, he doubled his goals from his previous high. So he definitely deserves it. And that was playing with people like Miles Wood. Keep that in mind.
That's a good point. Yeah.
So if you've ever listened to my podcast over at Mile High Hockey, I do not like Miles Wood at all. So I was like cheering and running around the room when they decided to trade Miles Wood. So
it's a good point. And I've seen a lot of comments for the people that don't like it, saying like, well, this doesn't solve anything on the bottom 6, but I don't think he's there to solve it. Like, you didn't bring him in to solve it. And like, kind of like my rebuttal to that is like, well, I'm okay playing the wait and see game. Like fans are insatiable. Fans need to have all of their ducks in a row now, today. And it doesn't work that way. Like if the Avs go into the regular season and they really maybe haven't addressed what I would like them to address, then we can have that conversation. But people want to have that conversation at the beginning of August. And I think that's like, well, no, like I don't want to go there yet, because things can still happen to make this bottom 6 more of a solid unit, more, you feel better about it. I'm not 100% sold on it right now. I think they're good. I want them to be better. And Kiviranta, bringing him in doesn't make them like it makes them good, because he's known, he knows the system. Jared Bednar loves him. So what you're going to get out of him. But the hatred toward, I don't know, hatred's a strong word. The dislike of this signing is because of like, well, that doesn't solve anything. He's not going to solve anything. Joel Kiviranta is not going to solve anything. He's in there to do a job, and if you ask me, he does it well. So I'm fine with that.
Well, and he's excellent at the penalty kill.
Yeah.
And so he's a defensive player in the bottom 6. So he's there to play defensive hockey. And then he would also do that really well with another player they signed this summer, Brent Burns. So where did they also struggle last year? The penalty kill.
Yep.
So they've got really 2 good players that are, one's coming back, one's coming in, that are good at the penalty kill. Unfortunately, we're not going to see another good penalty killer for 2 months or something like that with Logan O'Connor. But
so you're going to need someone like him.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And he is very good. Like your best four checkers, Vanachuskin, Lehkonen, and Kiviranta. Like, he's great at it. He is a really good defensive forward. So, and that's a spot that the Avalanche desperately needed. So,
and the less time that that Cale Makar can play on the penalty kill, the better.
That is true too. Like, you would like to start seeing that, would you not? Like to start see Cale Makar drop it, even if it's a minute. I'll take a minute.
Yeah,
lower
just a minute less per day.
That would be like a vacation for him. So,
yep.
Yeah. Overall, I am fine with it. I like it. I thought he had a great season last year, and if that's what he can give you. If he can repeat what he did last year, I do, like, for $1.25 million for that. Why is that a bad thing? Why?
Yeah.
Explain it to me. It's not.
Yeah. But I'm not going to be expecting the same thing from him because we don't have a bottom six right now. So
it's a good good conversation because, like you said, like, he was doing what he did with guys that were up and down, and he's gonna have to do that again with what he's got right now.
Yeah, that's burning the candle at both ends.
That's true. So we'll see. All right. We got a comment from someone over on Subtext about if we could throw out some obscure Avalanche history. So we're gonna have some fun with this. There's some random things and oddball things that we unearthed from some of you might know, but we'll talk about that after this. Let's hear from Monarch Money. Most people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth, and whether it's 401ks, properties, or investments. And when you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. But that's where Monarch Money comes into play. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or on your phone. And Monarch Money does the heavy lifting for you. You can link all of your accounts in minutes, see clear data visuals, get smart categorizations of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. So don't let your financial opportunity slip through the cracks. Use the code LOCKEDONNHL at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off of your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with the code LOCKEDONNHL. Make sure you check them out today. All right, so with it's kind of good timing because with the Avalanche, the 30th anniversary unveiling of the logo, like I said, over on Subtext, I apologize to this Subtext person. I was trying to go. We talk so much over on Subtext, and messages get lost. So like normal conversations go, normal group chats go, and I couldn't find who asked the question. I'm so sorry for whoever that is. But it was a good one about, what's some just random Avalanche obscure history, some stats or whatever you have. Would love to hear it. So we got a bunch of things here. See how many we can get through. But some of these you might know. I'm feeling like there's one that's out there. It's been out there for a while that I think most people will know. But there's some fun things here. And I don't know which one to start with. I want to start with the most pointless trade in history. I think I'll start with that one. So in 1997, the Boston Bruins had the number 1 overall pick in the draft, and that was when they picked Joe Thornton. The Colorado Avalanche had the very last pick in the draft. The Boston Bruins had the second to last pick in the draft. And because the Bruins just wanted to have the visual of having the first pick in the draft and the last pick in the draft, they swapped picks with the Colorado Avalanche. They literally swapped the very last pick in the draft for the second to last pick in the draft for no reason whatsoever other than the visual of picking first and picking last in 1997.
And who was that pick?
For the Bruins,
Yeah.
Jay Henderson. Good old Jay Henderson. Who I don't even know. I mean, I could look him up here, but well, no, here we go. That's Jay Henderson's stats. He played a total of 33 games, scored 1 goal, 3 assists for 4 points, and that was all in one season. That was all in the 99-2000 season. So didn't do too much. But I mean, what do you expect?
Yeah.
But I just thought that was hilarious. It was hilarious to just swap picks just because you wanted the visual of picking first. Kind of cool, but also incredibly pointless.
Right.
So go ahead. What do you got?
Mine is that everybody hates the Department of Player Safety. And
yes.
Yeah, and who heads the Department of Player Safety? George Peros.
He does.
But all the Avalanche fans need to understand he is a former Avalanche.
There he is.
Yep.
Look at that stash. That is something from the 70s he was wearing in the 90s.
Yep. 2 games played. 1 shot on goal was -1, and I had 706 time on ice average. And this was during the 06-07 season.
And then he was traded
to Anaheim.
For a 2nd-round pick and an option to swap 3rd-round picks, which I do not know if they did. But that was it. Two games. Do you think this is a reason why it's just never good for the Avalanche? Or is it he's just bad at his job and everybody has a problem with George Peros and how he kind of divvies up suspensions and stuff like that?
I think it's the latter, but and especially coming from the AHL side, because they're the ones that review the players' safety stuff for the AHL stuff too. So,
yeah, like 2 games. He's not a very. He was number 57.
Yep.
Which is not a number a lot of people have worn. I'm trying to remember who was the last guy to wear 57.
Well, one of them was
Myers was 59, but
yeah, Gabriel Bork was the not Gabriel Bork. Gabriel Bork was the last one, I believe.
Was he 57? Okay.
Yeah, because then he went to because for some reason Bednar loved him. And he stuck around for like a year or 2, and I never understood why. And then he ended up going into the abyss.
Yeah. I forgot he was 57. All right. There's another one for the 30th anniversary. In that first year in Colorado, the Avs scored 326 goals. And have not matched that since. So in year 1 in Colorado is their most goals that they have ever scored goals for, 326. They came close a couple years ago. They made it over 300. I think it was like 308 or something like that. But have not now when they were Quebec. I think if you include Quebec, the first 5 are all Quebec. So they're all over 326.
But they also had the Stassen kids.
They did, yeah. I mean, in a different era and stuff like that. But when they've been named Colorado Avalanche, yes, the first year they were there is the most goals they've ever scored. Yeah. Pretty wild. Pretty wild.
The colors of the Avalanche were originally supposed to be burgundy and green.
Now, because there's a couple things here. So the Nordiques were going to change their jerseys.
Yes.
And I have that here. So that's what you were going to get had they stayed in Quebec one more year. That next year, apparently that was going to be their jersey.
Yeah, they're going to do a full rebrand.
Yeah. So was that just bringing this over?
No, it was going to be like a full Christmas tree type thing.
So it was not this green. It was like Kelly. It was like Locked On Avalanche green is what it was.
Right. So
Or not
imagine
Locked On Podcast Network green is what I meant to say. Sorry.
Yeah, imagine it as the burgundy on the side of our screen right now.
Yeah.
And then like the wild green.
Man.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. And so the reason that it ended up going to blue was because when they sent it over to the NHL office, it printed out as burgundy and blue in the printer. And those were the colors that were accepted by the NHL office.
You know what? When you just said that, I remember hearing that story about the printer. Yes. Mm-hmm. Wow.
And so because of a bad printer is because we ended up, is how we ended up with burgundy and blue.
That is crazy. That is crazy. And, this kind of plays into the one that probably most people know of all these, and that is the initial name of the Avalanche was supposed to be Rocky Mountain Extreme.
Oh God,
which is extremely bad. But that is also a sign of the time back then. Like in the 90s, things were loud. Like you were going for that like edgy everything. Like the thing that I always think about for the 90s, and I don't watch NBA anymore, but in the NBA, things were loud. The uniforms were loud. The courts were loud. Like a lot of like, and they're getting back to that with the courts anyway. And that whole like opening tournament that they have, whatever that thing is called. Like those did you throw up in your mouth a little bit?
Yeah.
Those courts are just crazy. And they did that in the 90s. And the 90s was just all about like big and wild. And so I get it. It makes sense why they wanted to kind of like make a statement with something like Rocky Mountain Extreme. But think about if that was like still like if that wouldn't have lasted long.
Yeah, they would have had to have done a rebrand, kind of like the Anaheim Ducks have done. Yes. I think how they had to drop the mighty.
Yeah.
And I don't know the Vegas Golden Knights are going to have to drop the golden eventually.
Are they?
I think. That's just me.
For a particular reason? I haven't heard this. Please.
Well, no, that's just my theory. Yeah, it's just like the mighty. You have to drop the mighty to make it make sense.
Okay.
And it's just too long. Drop the golden. You're the Vegas Knights.
Someone told me there's a reason why it's golden. And I don't care because I don't like the Vegas Golden Knights. So
it's West Point.
All right.
So, yeah, it's where the owner went. But
is it really?
Yeah,
I don't think that's what they told me.
Yeah,
I don't think it's okay.
He's an alumni of West Point.
Oh well, I appreciate that, but I don't like his team.
No, neither do I.
So if you get the opportunity and you want to kind of like read more of this interesting stuff, Adrian Dater wrote a good book, like 100 Things All Avalanche Fans Should Know Before They Die. This one was in there. The other ones, he might have mentioned those other ones that could have been in there, but this one definitely was. I pulled this from that book. And the first 3 games the Avalanche ever played as the Avalanche, I should say the first 3 home games. This is when home teams wore the white jerseys at home. Their first game ever, oddly enough, some foreshadowing here, was the Detroit Red Wings. That was their first ever game. So against Detroit, and then they went on the road to play the Kings, and then their next 2 games at home were against the Penguins and the Bruins. Those 3 home games, with their white uniforms, they wore black helmets. And it looks horrible. It looks so bad. And there's no rhyme or reason to why they did that, because after that 3rd game, they switched to white helmets. And in the book, Dater says he tried to do some digging. Nobody has a really good answer for it. It's they wore them. The league wanted them to switch to white. I think the league wanted them to switch to white like right away, but it took them a couple. Maybe the white ones weren't ready. I don't know. But there is a picture of Peter Forsberg wearing the black helmet. It just clashes horribly.
Well, when they moved to Denver, they initially were practicing in Quebec uniforms.
Were they? I mean, that makes sense. Well, actually, why would that make sense? Why wouldn't you have everything ready to go?
When they were doing like their informal skates and their their training camp. At
Yeah.
first, they were doing all the powder blue and the whites
Were they?
and things like that, and Quebec Nordiques jerseys, and then it was like
Everything
overnight.
switched. Yeah.
Yeah, like overnight, everything came in, and they got it all.
Interesting.
They got it all switched to Avalanche. Thank God.
I know. I know. You got another one for him, I think.
The banners in the rafters. Now, everyone who has been to, I refuse to call it Ball Arena, but everyone who's been to Pepsi Center. Hey, I grew up here, man. So it's like
Fair
it's
game.
it's Mile High Stadium, and always will be Mile High Stadium.
Yeah.
But the banners at the top of Pepsi Center, there is one singular banner that is burgundy, and the rest are silver or gray, white.
Yeah, they're grayish, right?
Yeah, like a gray and white type of, just like the Stanley Cup banners. And it's the division banner from 2002, 2003, and it's to represent that it was the 9th consecutive division that was won, and it has not been done since. It was a National League, it was an NHL record, and it hasn't been done since.
So that one should stand out on its own because it's singular. Nobody's
done it.
It's a nice touch. It's a nice touch. Yeah, it pops. It stands out, and it makes people ask the question: why is that one blue?
Burgundy.
Sorry.
Yep.
And now you know.
Yeah.
So, and I didn't know that one.
I had to dig for that one. Because I sat there, and I just always wondered, just why the heck is that one burgundy?
And it stands out, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I like it. So no one's ever beat that. So if they end up beating that, they'll make the next one. If they win 10 in a row, they'll make that one blue then.
It's burgundy.
No, the one up there now is burgundy.
Yeah.
So you have to change. If you win 10 if this year you start and you go on a run where you win 10 in a row to match that burgundy one, you have to make the next one blue.
Oh, so okay.
Like contrasting colors out there, yeah.
Or green.
Do green, and everybody would be like, "Why in the world is there a green banner up there?"
Hey, you got to know the history.
It was the printer. There was a faulty printer. We just went with it. So
right.
Awesome. So those are a few things. There's tons more. So maybe we do this again sometime because there's a lot. Yeah, get that Dater book. He's got some fun things in there, and like one was about Peter Forsberg and deciding to go to dinner maybe saved his life because that was a night like his spleen ruptured. And he didn't want to go to dinner with the team and he wanted to go home, but they convinced him to go out. And the fact that he went out to dinner, he was closer to a hospital rather than going to his house, which was like, I don't know, 45 minutes away from a hospital or something like that.
And he would have been alone traffic.
Yeah, and he would have been alone too. And even at the hospital, he didn't want, or excuse me, even at the restaurant, he didn't want to go to the hospital. He was like, "Oh, I'm just in like really bad stomach pain. I'll be fine." But they forced him to go. If he was home alone, he'd be like, "Oh, I'll suffer through it." He might not have made the night.
Yeah,
crazy stuff.
Denver traffic's insane.
It is not,
and it has only gotten worse since then.
Yeah. So there you go. All right, so that is going to wrap it up for today. Brennan, appreciate you coming on the episode today. So why don't you throw out, I know you mentioned in the beginning, but throw out where people can follow along with you.
I can be found on Hockey Mountain High. Is where you find the majority of my stuff, along with Evan Liu is my managing editor, and Savvy Rafkin. She primarily covers Eagles. And then on Mile High Hockey, where I do a lot of Eagles stuff for them over there.
Awesome stuff, man. Appreciate you coming on. We're going to wrap it up for today. So we'll be back on Wednesday, closer to getting through the month of August, which is a slog. So, all right. We'll be back on Wednesday. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in and making this your first listen of the day. That is always appreciated. He is Brennan Vogt. Okay. I got to say it again because I have to say it so because Brennan, you made it through a 24-hour period where you're that much closer, my friend, to being part of the Colorado Avalanche and Sidney Crosby being with the team. What do you think?
No.